Protect and serve. What does that mean? When shoot to kill is what we've seen.
On March 17, 2015, about 55 people rallied in front of Richmond City Hall demanding that City Council fire police officer Wallace Jenson, who shot Richard Perez III dead in September 2014. Perez, better known as Pedie, was unarmed, but at the inquest, Officer Jensen said that Pedie had tried to take his gun and that he feared for his life. Witnesses dispute this, and Pedie's family has filed a civil lawsuit.
We're here for Pedie Perez. Now, he was a young man that was killed last September, unarmed young man that was shot 3 times in the chest. Okay? There's no need for him to be killed. The police have swept it under the rug, justified it with some bullshit lies about Pedie was going for a gun when he was 5 feet away when he was shot. Okay? Unarmed. And so that's why we're out here today, because we're going to keep this struggle going until we get justice. So we're going to have more about Pedie later. I want to turn the microphone over now to Gary Hall, one of the leaders and organizers of the Oscar Grant Committee, who has co-sponsored today's rally with the Perez family. Gary Hall.
Thank you. As my comrade said, my name is Gary Hall. I'm a member of the Oscar Grant Committee. The Oscar Grant Committee was formed because of another tragic death, Oscar Grant. And by tragic necessity, all of the victims of police brutality now become this committee's quest. You know, there's been a lot of people who have been killed by the police who have left this world very much prematurely. Just to name a few: Michael Brown, Eric Gardner, Akea Curley, Tamise Rice, Azale Ford, Manuel Jennings, Oscar Grant, Trayvon Martin, Pedie Perez. Now, they all have different circumstances, but the one thing that they all have in common is that they didn't deserve to meet the fate that they did. And the list goes on, and the killing doesn't stop, not even in the break of dawn. The killing goes on, and it does not stop, not even to the break of dawn. We understand that familiar chant, don't we? And the killing won't stop until we, the people of conscience, hold the police accountable for their murderous actions, when there are real consequences for the actions that they make, when cops who kill citizens and are prosecuted, and sent to prison, only then will we see a real reduction in these unjustifiable killings. Until then, we will continue to die. Our loved ones will continue to cry. The police will continue to lie. And we all will continue to question why. For it seems that this is a nightmare that we cannot wake up from. Now, the police, bad cops, cannot continue to hide behind the shield. The shield must not be allowed to protect criminal cops. I'm not against the police in total. My car was stolen. I'll be the first one on the phone to call a cop, as we all. But there are too many cops who are taking their power and their authority and they're playing God with people's lives. And the consequences are tragic, because every unjustifiable death by a cop alters the trajectory of all of our lives. Every one. It all has real consequences. And the bottom line is, unless we are all willing to stand up, fight, raise our voice to change, to bring about a change, this situation is going to continue to happen. We exist, the Oscar Grant Committee, because we believe that we speak for the voiceless, all of those individuals who've been killed by the cops. They're standing there. They don't say nothing. They're just looking at us, wondering what are we going to do about it. And we must do something about it, because all of these individuals, Pedie, Oscar, Mike Brown, Eric Gardner, they're all us. They could all be us. Any one of us. We're here today, we could be gone tomorrow. We could meet the same fate. So let's all just double down on our commitment to fight and rail against this type of injustice. Come to the Oscar Grant Committee meetings first Tuesday of the month, 7 o'clock at the Nemo Proctor Library in Oakland, because people, our work is not done. We're not done. Long after this rally is over, we still have work to do. Okay? So everybody here who, I want to see you again. Thank you very much. Woo!
Hi, I'm Pedie's mom.
There you go.
And first of all, I just wanted to thank everyone for coming out today and showing their support for getting justice for Pedie. It's very much appreciated by the whole Perez family. I just want to take a minute to talk about what the community around our business meant to Pedie, the neighborhood and his friends around there. Pedie, I get asked a lot about how hard it must be for me to go by the place where Pedie was killed all the time. And I tell people no, it doesn't bother me, because I know how much Pedie loved it around there, how much he loved his friends and the community in that area. A couple of years ago, Pedie and I were driving by, and there were all kinds of people on the street visiting, 5 to 10 to 15 people. As we drove by, Pedie named every single one of them to me. And I said, wow, you're really getting to know a lot of people around here. And he said, yeah, I am. And he had a big, proud grin on his face. Several years before that, when he was still a kid, there was a local man from the area. He was elderly, he was homeless, and he was a severe alcoholic. And every winter, Pedie would make sure that he had lots of blankets and a fresh pillow, even if it meant coming into my own closet to get the stuff. His name was Koreska, and when he passed, Pedie took it really hard, and still to this day talked about him. I've got a chance to meet a lot of nice people since Pedie's been gone. And one very sweet girl in particular said to me one day, you know why everybody around here liked Pedie? Because he saw people, not color. And again, thank you so much from the Perez family. We're grateful from the bottom of our hearts from all the support everyone has given us to get justice for Pedie. Thank you.
My name is Gene Rule, and I'm the local president of the East Bay chapter of Veterans for Peace. And as most of you know, Veterans for Peace is an international organization that is committed to work nonviolently for the abolishment of war and all forms of violence. Now, our national office is in St. Louis, Missouri, and so naturally the people in our national office are heavily involved with the uprising and the ferment that is going on in Ferguson. So Veterans for Peace as an organization does support this activity and also wants to see justice for Pedie. But we're concerned not only because so many veterans have been killed by police violence around the country, but also because there's an increasing militarization and a lot of police violence throughout our country. Depending on who's doing the counting, numbers vary, but I think even the FBI says that over 1,000 people have been killed in the last couple of years by police shootings. It doesn't have to be this way. If you look at Great Britain, does anybody know how many people were killed by police violence in Great Britain in the last 2 years? 0. The police only fired their guns 4 times in that period. So again, police killings are overwhelmingly an American problem, and we need to deal with it. It has to stop. Now, Richmond is not Ferguson. I think we all know this. And I know Richmond has a national reputation for community-centered policing. And the crime rates and police violence has gone down in Richmond. But I don't know how much comfort that gives to the family of Pedie Perez. And I think it's very important that the people of Richmond make sure that this case is handled correctly and it's not swept under the table, that all the facts come out and proper action be taken. I've been a member of Veterans for Peace for about 25 years, I think, and I've only been a member of the Oscar Grant Committee for about 3 months. But I've been very impressed with the way they conduct themselves, and they only take on serious cases that we know what is going on. So I'm very proud to be here with the Oscar Grant Committee, and I know the Oscar Grant Committee doesn't want to come in from the outside and tell people what to do. I think it's up to the people of Richmond to make sure that we see justice in this case. And I think one suggestion that I might make is that we ask the City Council to ask for a full accounting by both the Richmond Police Department and the Contra Costa Sheriff's Department about why they are not pushing this case, why they are not prosecuting the police officer that committed these shootings. Because we want justice for Pedie, and we also want justice for the police officer that is involved in this shooting. So I'll stop there. The rest is up to the people of Richmond, I think. Thank you.